Oh my God, it's 8 degrees out here. As you can see, I'm in beautiful, snowy northwestern Montana visiting Grammy and Grampy. We just celebrated Christmas. We're gonna stick around till New Year's. So you know me, I'm doing my year-end 2021 review. Thought I'd share with you some of the things that I thought went well this year that might give you some inspiration or some ideas for your own investments or your own portfolio. And I better go fast through this because you can hear my breath. I'm winded, it's so cold. Couple main categories to focus on. Number one is the portfolio. We probably had our most exciting year ever, mine, me, Brittany, in real estate from a portfolio standpoint. And what I mean by that is we bought 5 new deals in the last 12 months and we sold 4 deals in the last 12 months. So there was a lot of cleanup, optimization. We turned 3 rental units. We did some refinancing, kind of. So it was very much a portfolio year. I'll get into that. And then also we'll talk about growing the business, working on the business, not just in the business, and some of the things that we're doing for adding more assets to portfolio, increasing cash flow, speeding up how fast we can lease up the buildings. So let's start with the portfolio review. First thing we did this year was sell 3 of our Washington rentals. And I basically reallocated that into Arizona commercial real estate. So we bought a brewery with seller financing. We bought a couple of shopping centers in Mesa. I bought a vacant church. And then I bought a vacant CVS building in Tempe on a hard corner. And the thought process there was, look, the Seattle market was insane. I could sell these properties for way more than I ever thought they'd be worth. You know, sell it 120 cents on the dollar and then turn around and go buy discounted commercial real estate at 60 or 70 cents on the dollar. In fact, the way the math works out is we bought about $7.5 million of real estate this year that I think will be worth about $15 million. And we're gonna have some renovation costs into it to achieve that. But you know, all of those deals that were purchased had at least 50% upside. And so when I think about investing in properties where you can force appreciation in a market like Phoenix, where you already have a lot of growth, where there's a ton of people moving, where there's a ton of businesses moving, those things compounding make me feel confident that that's gonna be a pretty good risk to reward ratio for those investments. Additionally, just last week, we sold our Tucson shopping center, which we bought about 2 years ago. So thank you to Jesse and Steve and Chase for getting that done right before year end. At this point, we have mostly Phoenix shopping center retail assets within about a half an hour of the airport, which I love from an economies of scale and an efficiency standpoint, because I can fly in, do a day trip, day and a half trip, see all my buildings, tour 5 new buildings, meet with brokers, vendors, lenders, property management, and be very efficient versus driving 2 hours down to Tucson or dealing with stuff up in Seattle. Additionally, we still have some single family rentals in portfolio in Dallas. We turned both of those units. We bumped rents by probably 20% anyway. You know, had to replace roof, carpet, paint, do the stuff where you turn the unit. We also still have the Huntington Beach townhouse. We turned that unit as well, released it. We bumped that rent from about $4,000 to $4,500 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Never thought those words would be coming out of my mouth, but guess what? We continue to print money at a record pace. So the dollar's just not worth what it once was. A couple of the other things that we did from a portfolio building standpoint was diversify a little bit. So we got out of just shopping centers in Arizona or single family homes, and we passively invested. So we just wrote a check. So we invested in a friend's apartment building deal in St. Louis. Thank you, Alex. We invested in a mobile home park. Thanks, Dimitri. We invested in self-storage units. Thank you, Jeremiah. And so it felt good to get some geographic diversification, but also some asset class diversification. And coincidentally, a couple of those units or deals are going to turn over here. Alex's deal will probably sell in January for significantly more than what we invested in it. And then the same thing with the apartment deal we invested in 2018. That's going to sell probably in January as well. So we'll be getting our cash back. That's gotten great returns over the last couple of years, so we can redeploy that, you know, back into other passive investments like those, or into another shopping center in Arizona. I didn't mention that we did rate that we did a loan modification for our primary residence where we didn't have to go through a full-blown refinance, but instead worked with Bank of America, who was able to do a loan mod and basically just lower our interest rate by 1%. It didn't reset the 30-year mortgage, but instead just lowered the payment by $700 a month. So that was great. I think it dropped us from 3.37 to about 2.37%. Nice to do that. So if you haven't already, definitely check with your banker or your lender on that. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. Make sure you're doing those rent bumps like we talked about in the Dallas rentals, the Huntington Beach rentals, just so we're keeping up with this insane clip of inflation. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at on a portfolio standpoint. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit and go over to working on the business. And I mentioned Dan Sullivan and Strategic Coach earlier this year. There's some things that they taught us in that program that helped me get a lot of clarity. The first one was called unique ability. I did this with about 20 other entrepreneurs and all sorts of businesses and industries. Most of us were spending less than 20% of our time in our unique abilities, which means, we're doing admin, we're doing stuff that we suck at, we're doing things that we don't enjoy. What if all I had to do every day was my unique ability? That is a second concept out of Strategic Coach that I really embraced this year, and that's called Who, Not How. That's a cool book to check out if you haven't read it or haven't heard of it. And that's just the idea of I don't need to learn how to do everything. In fact, probably the less that I do, the better it goes and the more I make. But instead, surround myself with people who are exceptional. I think about my CPA, absolute rock star. I think about our attorney who drafts all of our leases and our purchase and sale agreements, absolute stud. The property management company that we hired this year to oversee all of our deals in Phoenix. So I'm not dealing with accounts payable and accounts receivable and reconciling the books and CAM reconciliations. That's all now done by their in-house accounting department, so I can be freed up to go find more unicorn deals, to raise more private equity from friends and family. Finally, things are starting to get to that point where it makes sense to bring on more awesome help, more A players. And on that note, Aaron is another amazing creative and marketing genius that joined the team this year, actually back in January, so we're approaching our 1-year mark. Aaron, you should cut in here and say hi. Aaron's been helping me to create more and more video content, not just create it, but edit it and pump it out to YouTube and to Facebook and to Instagram and do more live streaming and things that are helping us stay in front of our target customer who we got a lot more clarity on this year. It's going to be tenants to fill up our space. It's brokers who help to bring new deals and fill up the existing deals and of course sell the deals once we've achieved pro forma value. And then of course our friends and family who invest alongside of us in those deals. And so I just want to stay in front of those three groups or audiences as much as I can and add as much value to those people. Aaron, we should cut into the Monday.com dashboard and just show people some of the things that we're doing to generate consistent Facebook ads each week, to market on LinkedIn, to get in front of people on YouTube, which ultimately is leading to qualified tenant inquiries or tours of the property, ultimately LOIs and leases. And that's where we can create so much value in this business, is by generating a lot of those leads consistently with tenants to fill space, but also staying in front of our broker partners who are doing tenant representation or landlord representation, and they bring folks through to our deals and help sign those leases and get them across the finish line. Oh my God, it's 8 degrees out here.
It's 8 degrees out here. It's 8 degrees out here.
I'm gonna have to wrap this up. So a couple of the other things that I'm proud of this year is that we got more video content out. I'd been dabbling with that a little bit in 2020. I think I saw the value. I'd heard guys like Gary Vee talking about it, talk about your business, share, what it is that you're working on. And so Aaron helped me get more of that content out, but I'd like to be doing even more next year with even higher quality. And I would invite you, as you're watching this, to reply back or drop us a comment and let me know what you want to see more of. Do you want me to do a case study on the Tucson transaction? Do you want me to go through some more of the marketing? Do you want to see more of the behind the scenes? Brokers, do you want to see more of the buying criteria type of videos? So let me know. There's all sorts of directions that we could go with this, and I think we're very much still kind of finding our voice and our groove, and that's a constant work in progress. So switching gears to 2022, I think it's going to be largely the same as what we've bought historically. It's gonna be discounted commercial real estate that's underperforming, but I think I'm gonna up my quality another notch. And I don't know if that's gonna come in the form of doing 6 deals or 7 deals, or instead of $3, $4, $5 million deals, it's gonna be $6, $7, $8 million deals. I think we have that capacity now because I've gotten such awesome reception from friends, from family who are excited to invest alongside of us in projects. If you haven't gotten registered on the website to be alerted for upcoming deals, definitely pause and take a moment to do that. In fact, we could probably link to it here, but jump out to simplifiedproperties.com. There's a wait list. Anytime I get a new deal under contract, you'll get email notifications. I'll walk you through a whole video on why I love the project, what the projected returns are, what I think we're gonna be able to do with it, what the timeline looks like. So all the frequently asked questions I'll get into. I gotta shut it down here. I am freezing my tushy off. Gonna go get some skiing in, gonna go get a hot cup of something. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to all of our friends who invested alongside of us this year. Thanks to all of the amazing brokers who helped me find great new deals to buy and to sign leases in the existing deals and to sell our other deals, from the Washington stuff and the Tucson deals to the 5 buildings that we bought in and around Phoenix. Appreciate all of your guys' hard work, appreciate your trust. I wish you a wonderful, happy new year and 2022. I will talk to you soon.